Hey YouTube, this is me again. Today I'm going to discuss AIT. As I stated in a previous video, my husband went to basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and as his spouse, I was able to drive him to his AIT location, which was Fort Gordon, which is Augusta, Georgia. AIT is a lot different from basic training. AIT, they are able to have their cell phones. They're able to have, laptops if they, have tablets, whatever, electronics they can get. The living conditions in AIT, it's, they're still in like barracks, but it's not like basic, because his graduation, the family day, we toured like the barracks. So I got to see where he slept for basic. AIT is a lot different. It's more like kind of like a college dorm room. Kind of, it's, 2 or 3 people to a room. It's not like you're sleeping with 20 plus guys in a room and you have like a little cot. It's it's a little bit more comfortable than that. Pretty much with him, his classes for AIT, he was on a night schedule. So he went to class from 3 until 11, which worked out perfect for us with my work schedule. That worked out really good. They went to PT. His PT was, I'm not real sure of the time, but they still have to do PT while they're in AIT, physical fitness. Now, AIT, you can go visit your soldier. You can go from day one. So if anyone tells you, you can't go, you can visit from day one. Now, the difference is, just like in basic, they do have the phase. When they first get there, they're phase 4. Phase 4 means you can come, you can visit, you can get a hotel on post if you like, which every military installation has, even the small ones, have a hotel on post. So you can stay on post if you can, if they're not booked up. But when they're in phase 4, your soldier can't leave off post. So you would have to, he can still come to your room and stuff, but you guys can't like go to the movies off post or something like that. When my first visit was for our anniversary in June, he was still at phase 4. So he was supposed to have been phased up, but the person was like late on giving them their badges or whatever. So we pretty much just celebrated our anniversary on post. Like we went to like a little Chinese place on post. But I didn't care. I was with my husband. I'm not somebody that it takes a lot to please me. As long as I'm with my husband, I don't care. Now July, he got the pass for the 4th to come home. August, because I don't know if I explained that. Because my husband, was in Georgia, I went every month to see him. So I went June, July he came home. I went back August, and I went in September. Now, August, he was phased up. So August, we went off post. I still got a hotel room on post because it was a lot more convenient. I'll explain it in a moment. But August, we went off post. We went to eat to somewhere in Augusta, like a little bar type grill pub thing. It was pretty good. And we went to the movies. September was when he graduated, and that I'm going to explain it in a moment. That was just hectic, so we really didn't do too much of nothing. So that's the whole phasing part. Now you can, if they phase up to phase 5 and they do something bad, they can get phased back down. And again, the only difference is when they phase up, they can go off post, and they can also wear civilian clothes. While they're in phase 4, they cannot wear civilian clothes whatsoever, but once they phase up, they can. Now, AIT, my husband and I, we were really blessed because it was in, our home state of Georgia. So I was able to actually go every month. You may not be able to do that, but you can at least talk to them every day, or you can Skype, do things like that. Now, AIT, it's different because you don't have someone that's just constantly on you, making you do different things. So the soldiers have more responsibility on themselves. Just a few minutes story. One soldier ended up going AWOL while he was in AIT. Pretty much every month when I would go to visit my husband, because since he is still was still in training, I had to sign him out every weekend that I would go, which I went once a month, and I would have to get up at like 7 or 6 to be there at either 7 or 8. I can't remember the time that I can actually sign him. I think it was 7, and that meant that I was legally responsible for him for the whole, the time of the pass, which the pass was like from 7 to 8 in the morning till I think 1700. Well, no, it was longer than 1700. Saturday it's a little longer, so Saturday it may have been even 2000. I know on Sundays it's like 1600. No, it's 1800 on Sundays, I think. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember, this is months ago. But anyways, I will see this particular spouse every weekend, and I noticed her because where we parked, it really wasn't, it was so early in the morning, we were really the only, me, her, and it was another spouse, a man. He would come to see, get his wife every weekend. So us three, we would always be there together. And her car, she had like little decals on her car saying, my soldier is my husband, I love my soldier, things like that. So it made me notice her. So I asked my husband, did he know her husband? And he was like, no, he just knew that he was a class ahead of him. So basically what ended up happening was her husband would go to PT. He would go to formation, which is where they say, okay, hey, I'm here, I'm giving an account. He would go do all that, but when it came time for him to go to class, he wouldn't go to class. When the rest of the guys, that were in his unit, when they would go to class, he couldn't stay behind because, the people knew he was supposed to be in class. She would come pick him up, and he would leave. She had actually gotten an apartment there. So she would, go pick him up and stuff. And eventually, he just went AWOL. Which, I'm sorry, but that was really stupid. The military is not for everyone. But my thing is, if you know that it's not necessarily for you, see if there are any steps that you can take to get out. Yeah, you may have a dishonorable discharge or something like that, but it's better to have a dishonorable discharge than to possibly, not possible, but to go AWOL and still have, face jail time and still have a dishonorable discharge. Now also, so that's just a little AIT, they get privileged, but don't, make sure that your soldier is still staying focused, because it's still serious. Now, one of the big milestones, the biggest thing AIT wants is towards the end, they get their orders. Now, my husband he got his orders in July. He was out of his entire class, of like 20 people or something, or maybe a little bit more than that. He was the second to the last person to get his orders. And orders is when you find out if you're going to, if you find out that you're going to, like, for a drum or for a SEAL or just anywhere, or if you're going to be going to Germany, Hawaii. They do have, where they can pick, they can get like a wish list, if you will, and they put places that they would like to go. But how we look at it, honestly, when you're first getting in, it's your first contract, more than likely you're not going to get that first, you're not really going to get that pick. So my husband, he found out where he was going, which I'm not going to say where we are, but because it's pretty irrelevant. He found out where we were actually going to be going, and we put in the paperwork, or attempted to put in the paperwork for housing, which you can't actually, no matter what military installation you go to, You can't sign anything. They can't look, try to say, okay, well, hey, we have a house for you until your soldier has the actual paper orders in their hand. Because anything can change. I guess that's why. Now, his paper orders, after he graduated, but his paper orders actually got messed up. So he had to stay a week. My phone is ringing. He had to stay a week after he graduated. Sorry about that. He had to stay a week after he graduated from AIT because of his paper orders. And I ended up staying a week with him. I stayed a week because he thought maybe things would get fixed and he would be able to go, but no. So I ended up staying. With him for a whole week, and then I had to leave and come back. Now, I will go over the move process. I'll go over that in another video. I had researched and I watched videos, and I was a little bit intimidated because of everything. Because when you're moving with the military, it's a process. You do have the option to move by on your own, like independently, or you can move, do a military move. Which most of the things that I'm going over, if you want to specifically look at it and read it for yourself, you can go to www.army.com, and just read things, which is what I did. I actually went on. I'm a big researcher. I like to be informed. My husband always picks on me because of that. So I actually did go and research everything. Now, for me, I must say, I rather enjoyed his time in AIT because of the fact that, like I said, we were actually blessed to where, he was in our home state, and I was able to go see him every week and spend time with him every week. I mean, yes, it was frustrating that first month, when it was our anniversary, our wedding anniversary, and we couldn't go off post because he had tried to have like this whole romantic thing set up where we were going to go to a nice restaurant and all this. And then we found out not only can he not go off post, but he can't even stay overnight. So yeah, he wasn't too happy about that, but it was okay. Like I said before, the military is not for everybody, but it is what you make of it. On this website that I am on, a spouse website, I have read, comments from women, and they're like, no, this is really not for me. I don't know if I can do this. Since this is going to be my last video, talking about the whole training process of it, I feel like you and your spouse need to sit down and discuss it. If you're actually married or in a committed relationship before he goes into the military, both parties need to sit down and discuss it first, because it takes a lot of sacrifice, and it's not for everyone. And if you're doing something that you really want to do, you're going to enjoy it. But if you're doing something to where you feel like, oh, he did this on his own, I didn't have any say so, blah blah blah, as a spouse, you're not really going to enjoy it as much. And I can honestly say that I have fairly enjoyed my husband's time in the military, in the Army. Like I said, basic. If you didn't watch that video, go back and watch the basic What a Beautiful Nightmare video. That was frustrating, but it was still, I enjoyed it because it really, even though me and my husband have been best friends our whole life, we are extremely close. It actually made us some kind of way closer. I didn't even think that was possible because it opened up more communication. He was able to express himself because that's all we had were the letters. So he was able to express himself more. But I'm almost at my 15-minute mark, so I'm going to end now. Thank you for watching.